Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Mukesh English, and this is Mukesh Soni. Friends, in this video we shall have the discussion of the important questions from very famous lesson titled A Corpse in the Well, written by 𝘼𝙡𝙡 𝙠𝙚𝙨. And this lesson or this story is in the syllabus of second semester BCA B.Sc Generic English under Bangalore University and Bangalore North University, BU and BNU. So without much delay, let's begin the discussion of the questions of A Corpse in the Well story by 𝘼𝙡𝙡 𝙠𝙚𝙨, written by 𝘼𝙡𝙡 𝙠𝙚. So now you have here 2 marks questions. Question number 1. What was the occupation of the narrator's father? Narrator's father was on the village duty. The occupation of the narrator's father is here village duty. Second, the well mentioned in the story was frequently used by the villagers. No, it's a false statement because the villagers are not allowed. Who kept guard at the well? Anna and Ramoshi, they always kept the guard at the well, who were supposed to conduct an initial inquiry about the corpse. The head constable, the chief constable, and the constable. Why did Anna refuse to eat bhakri? Anna would like to eat his bread only when everything was over with the corpse. So first he would like to finish this matter of the corpse, then he will have something to eat like bhakri. So he refused to eat bhakri. That's the reason. Then the head constable came riding on horse, not on bike, not on bicycle. He came on the horse. Next, the constable yelled at Anna. Why? What's the reason? Why he shouted? Because he was waiting for the constable, and the constable asked Anna to jump into the well and remove the corpse from the well. So he shouted at Anna to do it fast and to remove the corpse. What made Anna feel apprehensive about touching the corpse? Because the heirs of that corpse would question the relatives or the acquainted people of that corpse of the dead body would question that if they touched it. So he was quite apprehensive. He was quite doubtful that should he touch or not. Then how did the narrator feel when he saw Anna getting cursed and abused? So it was a shock to his young mind. He heard the curses, the threats, the shoutings. He thought that it was injustice to his father. So the narrator, as a son, he was listening that his father was getting curses, threats, and shouting, and he thought it was an injustice to his father. So it was a shocking shocking scenario for the young mind. Then, why did the boy scream when he saw his father slide down the rope? Because the boy saw a long, slender creature inside the well, and it was a snake. That's the reason the boy screamed when he saw his father who was sliding down the rope. According to the narrator, what was the lesson behind the Mahar's long drawn struggle involved in the village duty? He asked himself why Mahars had to do this kind of work. But the Mahars had moved the High Court, fighting for the Mahar Watan share and a quarter of the share. Who was the village chief? Patil was the village chief. That's extra question. And what is a slender creature seen inside the well? That is a snake. So what is the slender creature inside the well? Snake. And who was the village chief? Patil. So these are the 2 extra questions which I try to gather from the text. Now we have now we have 5 marks questions which you need to answer in a paragraph or maybe in a page. Now, first question with 2 options having the same answer. The village duty for the Mahas was dreadful and disrespectful. Explain. Or how does the story bring out the disrespectful attitude towards Mahars in the society? The story is based on the difference of the higher caste and the Mahar people. One of the parameters of the difference is the food. How on one side the high caste people enjoy the delicious food while the Mahar are supposed to sit in the empty stomach and wait till the work is over. They are not even allowed or permitted to eat their dry bhakri. They can only have the meal after their work is over. They are even made to arrange food for the animals. Sorry. They are even made to arrange food for the animals. Means to say their task is only to arrange the food for animals. And at one point of time, we come across how the Dalits are even exposed to threat and are punished and are pushed into a difficult situation. Their only job was to guard the corpse, the dead bodies, but they were forced sometimes even to take out the dead body from the well. Now, on one side, if they touch the body, it is a sin for them and they cannot refuse as order has been placed by the constable. So these are the very disrespectful situation for Mahars. So no one understands the emotion, not the feeling of the poor Mahar. They are exposed to threat, insult, and danger. They face threat by the villagers, the outsider, basically everyone. They are addressed as lump of dirt, and sometimes they are threatened as, do I have to whip you? Do I have to whip you? Their life does not carry any value for the upper caste people. They are forced to even go inside a well in which there are poisonous snakes. They don't even show any concern for it. Even young children are too dragged into the dirty discrimination, although the government had forbidden any discrimination against the Dalits, and the Dalit is the name chosen by the untouchable themselves. Hence, the story focuses on the difficulties faced by the Mahars in the day-to-day life and the humiliation they undergo throughout their entire life because they are born into a lower caste on which they have absolutely no control. They have absolutely on control. They have been deprived of all the facilities and are often exposed to humiliation even in front of the children. They die 1,000 deaths before their real death. Even after being loyally serving the village, the Dalits are not given any reward nor a mere respect for their work. This story questions the very system and the ideology of so-called hollow society who do not even treat people as human and treat them worse than animals. The theme of the story is based on the life of the Dalit set in the rural areas of an Indian village, which contains the miserable condition of the Dalits. Really, it's so miserable condition. Question number two. Question number two. Describe the atmosphere near the well as the narrator arrives. A corpse was floating in an abandoned. I'm sorry. A corpse was floating in an abandoned well near the village, and it had bloated and risen to the surface. The Mahar and Ramoshis had to report at the well and guard the corpse till the head constable and the constable arrived. Corpse means a dead body. They waited till the next day. Anna, the narrator's father, who was guarding the corpse, he was suppressing his hunger by smoking and denied to eat bhakri, which was offered by his son by the narrator. Till the head constable arrived, he had to be there. He cannot have anything. Anna's refusal to eat while on duty is one. Another could be his risking of life to recover the body from the well. And yet another is the respect that Ramoshis and Mahars show the constable. When the later arrives, when the Ramoshis and Mahars arrive, when the constable arrives, Mahars have led out a manger, of grass and a pail of fresh water to sate the horse's thirst. So he has brought food for the horses, not for himself. Thus, when the Mahars behave in such a fashion, the reader feels greatly shocked and appalled by the way that the policeman responds to such bravery and loyalty towards duty. He abuses them and threatens to beat them. The obvious abuse of power, excuse me, he abuses them and threatens to beat them. This obvious abuse of power combined with the father's air of surrender present throughout the story, such as his giving into pressure from the policeman, coupled with a line in which he says, so we can say, he says, "Who cares if a Mahar lives or dies?" serves to but strengthen the theme of injustice, rife throughout the story. When the constable begins to threaten Anna, pressurizing him to retrieve the dead body from the well, the surrounding village elders respond by saying, "Sarkar, you will go away from here. You will leave this poor Mahar to his fate. We want to go on living in this place, in this village." In the above line, the author is conveying to the reader the threat of communal violence. Neighboring villages from whence the corpse in the well may have come would not respond positively to the kinship being, being touched by the members of the lower caste, and thus the Mahars in the community are responding not out of empathy and pity for for the Mahar on duty, but more sort of fear of attack, serving to reinforce the aforementioned concept of injustice. So that is a scene near the well. Now, the third question we have here, a corpse in the well demonstrate the unjust practices of Indian society and humiliation of Mahars. Explain the statement based on your reading of the lesson. So somehow this question answer is quite similar to the question number 2, but the opening is different. A Corpse in the Well is an extract from the book Taral Antaral, an autobiography by Shankar Ramchandra Kharat, an established Dalit writer in the post-independence Indian literature scene. The story's primary themes seem to be on emphasizing the difference in power that exists in villages and how the Mahas, the Dalits, are treated cruelly in an almost subhuman fashion. The unfair method in which they are around, they're bossed around to serve, which serves to highlight a broken system and the broken ideology in the society. So in the story, the boy's father, referred to only by the title Anna, is performing his village duties. A corpse had been found recently in the well, and the Mahar on duty, that is Anna, was assigned to guard it, to take care of it until the police arrives. Anna had been waiting at the well for the entire night. When his son, the narrator, arrives to give him some food, that is bhakri, the father, in an exemplary display of loyalty towards his duty, he refuses, he refuses, saying that he will only eat once he relieved from his duties. At this point of time, the police arrived and ordered Anna to fetch the body from the well. Anna refuses initially, but noticing the policeman's flaring temper, he enters the well. A snake in the well's shallow water causes a fright in both the son and the father. But eventually, the body and Anna are successfully drawn up from the well. As the son heads home, he reflects on the injustice and the deadly work involved in the village duty. The head constable or the policeman is depicted in quite a negative light throughout the story. The fact that a police officer is supposed to be the implementer of the law resorts to such primeval primeval means of discrimination to get his job done induces a sick sort of irony in the reader. So he's going to create the discrimination. So the theme of justice is one of the permeates the entire story, is one that covers the entire story. The Mahars and the Ramoshis loyally and wholeheartedly serve the village, as it's always shown in the many examples throughout the story. Anna's refusal to eat while he was on duty is one, and the another could be his risking of life to recover the body from the well, and yet another is the respect that the Ramoshis and the Mahars show to constable. When the constable and the head constable they arrive, the Mahars have laid out a manger of grass and a pail of fresh water to set the horse thirst. So thus, when the Mahas believe in such a fashion, the reader feels greatly shocked and appalled by the way the policeman responds to such bravery and loyalty towards duty. He abuses them. He threatens them to beat. So this obvious abuse of power combined with the father's air of surrender present throughout the story, such as his giving into pressure from the policeman. So we have few lines where it has been told here. He says, "Who cares if a Mahar lives or dies?" So serves to strengthen the scene of injustice, and rife throughout the story. When the constable begins to threaten Anna, pressurizing him to retrieve the body from the well, the surrounding village elders they say, "Sarkar, if you will go away from here, you will go away from here. You will leave this poor Maha to his fate. We want to go on living in this village." In the above line, the author is conveying to the reader that the threat of communal violence, neighboring villages from whence the corpse in the well may have come, would not respond positively to the kinship being touched by the members of a lower caste. Thus, the Mahars in the community are responding not out of empathy and pity for the Mahar on duty, but more so out of fear of attack, serving to reinforce the aforementioned concept of injustice. This is how the theme of injustice is well portrayed in the story, The Corpse in the Well. And friends, this is how I have tried to solve the questions from the famous story The Corpse in the Well for second semester B.Sc NEP syllabus, generic English, and the Bangalore University in Bangalore North University. If you have liked this video, click on the like button, share to your friends, subscribe to the channel. If you're not yet done, look into the description box. You'll get all the lessons, links, the playlist, where you can easily prepare for the examination. You can mail me at mukeshenglish@gmail.com if you have any questions. Then thank you so much for watching this video. Stay tuned with Mukesh English.